Peppa Pig's 8th season ended in 2024, and fans couldn't be happier. But that happiness doesn't last long when you remember the details about the new season that are very concerning. Do you know what I'm talking about? In 2024, the world's most beloved little blue pig celebrated 20 years of existence. Yes, exactly. The series debuted in 2004, and the 8th season was practically Peppa's birthday when she went off to college. Feeling old now, aren't you? I know I am. But have you stopped to think that the series has a huge problem that no one has talked about until now? In these 20 years, we can confidently say that the show hasn't changed at all from its very first episode, Muddy Puddles, to the latest one. It's a rare case where you can even take the show's test recordings, made 2 years before the series premiered, and compare them with the most recent episode, and they are literally the same. And if you're wondering what the problem is, well, that's exactly it. Of course, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But still, it's been 20 years of the same thing over and over again. And as if that wasn't enough, they even created a spin-off of shorter Peppa episodes, Peppa Pig Tales, which is literally more of the same. So with all the information we have so far about the upcoming season, I think it's safe to say that some things are probably going to change. So get your boots ready to jump in muddy puddles, because today we're talking about everything we know about the new season of Peppa Pig here on Zigzag. The next season of Peppa Pig won't be released until 2027. It's gonna take forever, and that's because there are some concerning things happening behind the scenes that are causing the show to be delayed even further. The first of them is that 104 new episodes have been ordered instead of the usual 52. The series currently has a little over 300 episodes, and this would add way more episodes than usual. It would be like producing the equivalent of 2 seasons at once. And this is happening because the original creators of the series, Neville Astley, Mark Baker, and Phil Davies, have decided to step away from production to focus on new projects. The animation will now be produced by the British studio Carrot, known for Sarah and Duck. Despite this change, the visual style, music, and voice cast will remain the same. Man, I think this is really weird and concerning, to be honest. Every time the original creators of something step away, things tend to get worse. But apparently, they're going to stay close to production to make sure the quality stays the same, right? Are you also worried that the show might get worse without the original creators? Then type #Peppa in the comments so we know. A question that always comes up when a new season of any recurring and famous series like this is announced is, which characters will appear? One of the last episodes of the previous season was a wedding special, where we had Katy Perry and Orlando Bloom making a brief appearance as Mrs. Leopard and Mr. Raccoon. As much as I think it's unlikely that these characters will return due to Katy and Orlando's insanely high level of celebrity, it would be a good card up the producer's sleeves to keep on hand whenever necessary. Who knows? Maybe we'll see another wedding in one of these new 104 episodes. It could even be Peppa's wedding, if they want to compete with Bluey and also show Peppa as an adult. That would definitely be quite a surprise, wouldn't it? Another character who will almost certainly start appearing more is Auntie Dottie, who finally made an appearance in the Thanksgiving episode after being mentioned for so long without ever showing up. It would be great to see more members of the Pig family beyond just the main core. And speaking of that, 2 secret members of the Pig family, who have never even been mentioned, could finally appear in this new season. In fact, I think they should appear, because it's been so long without any sign of them that I'm starting to get worried. I'm talking about Daddy Pig's parents. Grandpa and Granny Pig are Mummy Pig's parents. Peppa and George's other grandparents are still a complete mystery waiting to be solved. And there isn't a single clue about them. It's way too bizarre. What do you think happened to them? We've put together an amazing video about Peppa's entire history for you to watch after this one. It's in the card up above. Speaking of unanswered mysteries, there's one that keeps me up at night. And honestly, I'm losing my sanity over this. Who the heck is that guy in the photo at Madame Gazelle's house? Clearly, he's someone very dear to her. After all, she wouldn't have a picture of him in her home for so long otherwise. But we have no clues about her personal life before she became Peppa's teacher, except for the small hints she drops here and there about her hometown. This guy is probably from her country of origin, and she definitely hasn't seen him in a long time, since the photo is in black and white, which indicates it's really old. Honestly, they need to learn that mysteries usually need answers, or at least enough hints for the fans to come up with their own. But wait, isn't that exactly what I just did? If you want to know more about Peppa, Bluey, and your favorite cartoons, take this chance to subscribe to the channel. And don't forget to turn on notifications too. In the past, we've had several Peppa Pig movies. Did you know that? The first movie is called The Golden Boots and tells the story of how Peppa's golden boots were stolen by Mrs. Duck right before the big, town-wide, muddy puddle jumping competition. Peppa's mission is to chase after Mrs. Duck and get her boots back before it's too late, and she misses the competition. The second movie isn't exactly a movie. It's a compilation of over an hour of various unreleased episodes, along with some live theater performances featuring fun musicals about Peppa. And the craziest part? These scenes were recorded with real people. The third movie followed the same pattern, being another compilation of 10 never-before-seen episodes, including the Festival of Fun, where everyone jumped in muddy puddles, and the grand premiere of Mr. Potato's first ever full-length movie. Of course, we didn't actually see the movie, unfortunately. It was an exclusive film for the characters, but imagine how cool it would be if they really made a whole movie just about Mr. Potato. I find it unlikely that out of these 104 new episodes, there would still be enough discarded ones to make a movie. So if they do make a new film, it would probably have an original story. But the biggest concern doesn't even come close to the ones I've mentioned so far in this video. The biggest problem of all would be if this were actually the final season of Peppa Pig. Can you imagine that? Peppa finally ending and never getting another new episode? No, that cannot happen under any circumstances. That's why I believe the most likely scenario is that they'll make some changes to the episode structure or the way the new season's events unfold. That way, they could give the series a fresh new feel and keep audiences engaged for another 20 years. Can you imagine? Your grandkids watching brand new episodes of Peppa Pig? Maybe that's exactly why control of the series is being handed over to new animators and writers, with the original creators staying on just for quality control. However, another factor supporting the theory that this next season might be the last is precisely the original creators themselves. They're leaving Peppa in other people's hands because they're preparing to start a brand new project. What could be coming next? It's worth remembering that this trio has already created 2 other shows before: The Big Nights, which only had 1 season, and Ben and Holly's Little Kingdom, which had 2 seasons, totaling 105 episodes. That's almost the same number of episodes they're currently making for Peppa. Another interesting detail is that all 3 shows exist in the same universe, so their next project will probably have some kind of connection to Peppa too. Could Peppa make an appearance in it? And if you're curious to know even more about Peppa, we've prepared an awesome video about your favorite little piggy for you to watch right now. Just click the link that popped up on your screen. See you there.